Hey everyone, it's Tom here from Ludicrous Feed. Thank you so much for joining us. And literally 24 hours after BYD announced their essentials lineup for the Atto 3 and the Dolphin, we've now got Chery telling us that they are dropping $6,000 off the price of the Omoda E5, both the entry-level BX and also the upper trim EX model. And this is what we've got to get used to. This is China time. This is reaction, just like that. One brand doing a price cut, another brand reacting very quickly, which is really good for us consumers actually. So yeah, we've got to keep up, otherwise we'll lose out. So yeah, let's have a look at the press release from Chery. So basically, they're dropping $6,000 for a limited period of time. We don't know how long for, off the Chery Omoda E5 electric vehicle, both the BX and the EX variant. So that's the base model and also the upper trim as well. So that means effectively it drops it down to $36,990 MSRP for the BX model before on roads, and that's down from $42,990, and a similar price cut also for the EX model too. So I've done a video on both the BX and the EX trims, so check out those in my catalog. But look, the Chery Omoda E5, naturally you'll compare it to the BYD Atto 3. They're both very similar sized vehicles. Chery Omoda is, I think it's 4.42, whereas BYD Atto 3 is 4.45 meters in length. They both carry the FinDreams BYD Blade battery. And of course, now they're both fighting very hard for your hard-earned dollars. So $36,990 for Chery Omoda E5 BX, and then you've got BYD Atto 3 at sub $40,000 for the Atto 3 Essential. I think overall, given that I've driven both vehicles, I reckon the Chery actually has got a better spec'd vehicle overall. For that price, you're going to get a bigger battery at 60 kilowatt hours versus the Essential Atto 3, which is actually their standard range, more like 50 kilowatt hours. Both cars have a 5-star ANCAP rating. The Chery Omoda E5 actually has a full-size spare wheel in the boot. Very few EVs have a spare tire in the back, notable exception being the Hyundai Konas. The Chery Omoda can actually charge at 9.9 kilowatts at 3-phase, whereas the BYDs can only charge single-phase around 7 kilowatts max, so there's an advantage right there. Both have a very similar DC charging speed of around 80 to 90 kilowatts, both of course having an LFP battery pack. The Chery Omoda E5 has also got a small bonnet storage or frunk in the front of the vehicle, of course. So I guess overall, which car do you choose, right? $36,990 MSRP for the Chery Omoda, sub $40,000 for the BYD. I think overall, like I said, the Chery Omoda is probably better spec'd, but I think if you just look at the vehicle and if you drive it without drilling too deep into the numbers, I think the BYD Atto 3 actually has better driving dynamics overall, both in the city roads and also on the highway as well. It just feels a little bit more refined, a little bit smoother in the Atto 3 compared to the Chery Omoda E5. And I think overall the car just feels a bit more refined as well in the Atto 3. Not to say the Chery is terrible, but the Atto 3 I think feels just a bit nicer on the inside. And of course, looks are subjective. I think both cars look reasonable from the outside and wouldn't look too out of place on Sydney roads and anywhere else in Australia for that matter. So there you go, Chery Omoda E5 limited special, $36,990 for the BX model, and a similar $6,000 price cut for the EX model too, the upper trim. So thanks for watching everyone. Leave a comment below. Which car would you prefer, the Chery Omoda E5 or the new BYD Atto 3 Essential? Of course, with the Essentials trim, there are a few emissions now compared to the previous standard range trim, which includes no more sunroof, no more powered tailgate, no more roof rails, and a smaller touchscreen, amongst other things. So yeah, tell me what you think, and how long do you think these price cuts will last for Chery? Will you be getting one if this is what you've been looking for, a small SUV? Alright everyone, thanks so much for watching. Until the next Ludicrous Feed video, happy charging.